Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel SK Tech. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the HashMap in Java, and we are going to see what is HashMap class in Java, key points of the HashMap, how to create the HashMap, methods of the HashMap, and also we are going to see some example. Okay, so let's begin. So first let's try to understand what is HashMap. So basically HashMap is a class which is going to be implementation class of the map interface, but that is not directly implementing the map interface. Indirectly, HashMap is going to be implemented by the abstract map. It means that what are the methods available inside this map is going to be implemented inside the abstract map, and then on top of that HashMap is going to extend the abstract map class, meaning it is going to implement only the important method that is required by the HashMap. So this is the hierarchy of the HashMap. Okay, and why this is abstract map? So we have already seen this similar concept in our previous video also, right? For Java provided abstract class for each of the collections. So map is not a part of collection, but it is also a part of the collection framework. So like we have seen, for list it has provided abstract list, for set it has provided abstract set. Similar to that, Java provided abstract map for the map interface. So basically this is going to provide the abstraction between the map and HashMap. So abstracted means the HashMap is not going to implement all the methods available inside the map. It is going to implement only the important method. But let's say if HashMap is trying to implement the map interface directly, then it means that it is required to implement, or it is required to provide the implementation for the all the methods available inside the map. So for that purpose only Java provided the abstraction class between the map and HashMap. Okay. Now let's see some key points about the HashMap. What are the some key points? So first key point is like key value pair. So similar to the map, HashMap is going to provide the key value pair. It means that it is going to hold the value as a key and value. Okay. Second thing is like null key and value. So this key point is like HashMap is going to allow one null key and n number of the null value. Okay. Next key point about the HashMap is like it is non-synchronized. So similar to the any collection, HashMap is also a non-synchronized. It means it is not a thread shape. Multiple thread can able to perform the operation on the HashMap. So if you want to use HashMap in the multi-threaded environment, you cannot use it since HashMap is a synchronized. So if you want to use it, you need to convert it this HashMap into the thread shape. So there is a collections class utility. Using that, there is a method called concurrent HashMap, and with the help of that we will be able to create this HashMap as a thread shape. Okay, so this is the important point about the HashMap. Next important point is like insertion order not preserved. So just one point you have to remember, whichever is the collection starting with the hash, it means that it is going to work on the hashing concept. It means whatever the value you are storing it, either it's a hash set or hash map, it is going to calculate the indexing value based on the hashing technology. Hashing is nothing but some integer value. One method provided by the Java is called hash code. Okay, and based on that it is going to calculate some indexing and going to store it. So it is not going to give any guarantee that hash code is going to be generated in a sequential manner. That's why whatever the collection is starting with the hash, it is not going to maintain any insertion. So similar to that, HashMap is also not going to maintain any insertion order. We have already seen the internal implementation of the hash set also, right? Because hash set internally uses the HashMap, and there was something like it was creating like this, right? And when you are inserting something, so it was going to calculate the hash code and it was going to insert, right? That's what we have seen in our previous video. Now let's see the next important point about the HashMap is like unordered. So similar to that, since it is not maintaining any insertion order, so it is not a order collection. It means that what are the elements that you are going to insert, it is not going to insert either in the ascending order or in the descending order. It is going to store in a random way. So when you get the element, it is not going to give the guarantee that it is going to give the same element which you have inserted in a order. Okay. Next important point about the hash map is like hash code method. So as we know, hash map is going to work on the hashing concept. It means that it is going to use the hash code method to calculate the hash code, and based on that it is going to calculate some indexing internally, and then it is going to insert the record. Okay. Now comes to the performance. So performance wise it is little fast than the other implementation class of the map interface like linked hash map or tree map. Okay, and it is going to give the constant performance for all the operations. Next important point about the hash map is like capacity and load factor. So what is capacity and load factor? So we know that capacity means initial size of the hash map. So similar to the other collection, Java also going to provide the default capacity for the hash map as a 16. Okay, and load factor of the hash map is going to be provided like 0.75. So what do you mean by load factor? So load factor is a parameter. Based on that, Java is going to identify when the hash map is required to be increment or decrement. So we know that hash map is also a dynamic in size. It means we no need to provide the initial capacity. Java is going to provide the initial capacity, and 0.75% means when the map is full of 75%, the map is going to be automatically increased, and similar to that, according to the deletion of the record, if it is less than the 75%, it is going to adjust the size internally. So this is about the capacity and load factor. Next important point is like implementation. So we know that hash map is the implementation class of the map interface, but we also know that it is not the direct implementation of the map interface, right? Because internally it has implemented the abstract map, and then abstract map is going to be extended by the hash map class. That's what we have seen in our previous video. Okay. Next important point is like fail fast iteration. So what do you mean by fail fast iteration? So fail fast iteration means during the iteration of the collection, if you are trying to modify the existing collection, means if you are trying to modify the collection, then it is not going to allow, it is going to throw some exception. For example, let's say you are trying to iterate the collection, and during the iteration you are trying to update or you are trying to remove the element from the collection, then it is going to throw some concurrent modification exception, and hash map is not allowed. So that's why we are called that hash map is a fail fast iteration. Okay, we will see with the help of the example about all these key point. Don't worry about all this point. We are going to see with the help of the example each and every key points, like how this is working internally with the help of the example. Now let's see how to create the hash map. Hash map provided couple of the default constructor. Using that we will be able to create the hash map. So first constructor is like hash map. So this is the empty constructor. It means that we are not going to provide the capacity and load factor while creating of the hash map. So Java is going to take care, like initial capacity is going to take care like 60, and load factor is going to provide like 0.75. Next constructor provided by the Java is like, while creating the hash map we will be able to provide the capacity, and another constructor provided by the hash map is like, apart from the initial capacity we will be also able to provide the load factor. So default load factor was 0.75. it means when the capacity of the hash map is full with the 75%, it is going to be increment automatically, right? So similar to that, if we want to change the load factor, then we will be able to provide at the time of creation. And fourth constructor provided by the hash map is like, during the creation of the hash map we will be able to provide any existing hash map. It means that let's say we want to create the hash map with the help of already created a list of the map, right? So those values we will be able to provide as an argument. So in this case, during the creation it is going to initialize the value which we are providing it here. So these are some couple of the constructor. Using that we will be able to create it. So for example, if we want to create the hash map, like let's say this hash map, and then here we need to provide key and value. So we know that hash map is going to hold the value as a key and value pair. So key can be anything, value can be anything. It's just that based on the requirement, we can provide like any key, like string type as a key, integer type a value, and then object equal to new hash map. So this is the one syntax. So using that we will be able to create it. Okay, now let's see some basic operation that we are going to perform using the hash map. So let's try to demonstrate it. Let's go to the IntelliJ IDE. So let's say we have created one class called hash map demo and one main method, and here we are going to first create the hash map. How we can create the hash map? It's very simple. Hash map, then we need to provide the key and value. So let's say we are going to provide key as a string. It can be anything, it's just that based on the requirement, and value can be like anything like integer, and some object, let's say map equal to new hash map. So here inside that, either you can provide it same value or not. Java is going to identify automatically based on this. Okay, so what does it mean? That it is going to hold the value as a key as a string and value as an integer. So how we can add the element? So we can use the method provided by the map interface. We have seen already put method, right? Put method is used to add the element inside the map. So this hash map is also a map, right? So let's try to add some element using the put method. So map dot put. So here we need to provide key as a string type, and we remember like key should be unique and value could be anything. So let's say we are going to provide like a, and value let's say providing 101. Similar to that, let's copy paste and insert some more element. Let's give the another key like B, C and D. Let's provide some value like 102, 103 and 104. So this is the one way we can add the element inside the hash map. Now as we know, in our previous video we have inserted the element inside the any list collection or set collection. To print that, we are directly printing like sysout, and then we are providing the object of the collection. Similar to that, if you try to print the hash map, what it is going to print? Let's see. Yeah, so we see here it is printing like key value pair. So first key pair is like A 101, B 102, C 103, D 104. So you can see that it is automatically printing by default in this format. A equal to means here it should be key and value. So equal is differentiation here, key and value pair. So this is how we can insert the element, and in a basic operation we can print the element. Now let's try to perform any other operation. So let's say we are going to check hash map contains null key and null value or not. That was the important point that we have discussed as part of the key point, right? Now let's try to test it here. So map dot put, let's try to put like key as a null and value as a null. Okay, and let's try to print this message also again. So and give some statement like null key and null value. Okay, now let's try to run this program and see the output. So if you can see here, it is allowed to insert one null key and one null value. Okay, now let's try to see what happens if we try to insert multiple null value, what it is going to do. So let's try to add another null value like null as a key, and value let's say this time we are going to provide like 101. Okay, so let's see what it is going to do. Let's print the same statement again here and provide here like null as a key and 101 as a value. So what it is going to do? So you will see here, compile type it is not throwing any exception, but at runtime what it is going to do, it is going to perform the update operation. So it will see like okay, null is already present. So what it is do, since key can be unique, so it is not going to remove it. It is basically it is going to update it with the existing null as a key and value with the updated one. So earlier it was null, now new value we have provided like 101. So if you see the output, it is printing like null as a key and value as a 101. So this is about the null check. Okay, now let's try to perform some other operation like accessing element in hash map. So we see that how to print the hash map is very simple. Using the sysout statement we can print it, but if you want to access the element, okay, that is the tricky part, because map contains key and value. So if you want to get the element, you need to use the key as an object, and it is going to provide the value associated with that key. For example, let's try to print it like get a object, or you can say key a and value, whatever value it is going to return. So let's try to see how we can do that. We need to use the object name map.get, and here we need to provide the object as a key. So what key value we want to get it? So let's say we want to get like b. Okay, let's try to run this program and see the output. But before that, you see here it is throwing some compile time error. So what it could be? Because we are trying to provide one b as an object type, but b is not able to recognize, right? And it is expecting like object, or you can say key should be string type, because we have inserted as a string type. So here we need to provide as a string. So something like this. Now if you run this program, it is going to return the value associated with this key. So if you see here, get a key, so we have given a here, basically it should be like b. And what are the value of the b? So corresponding to the b key, there is a value called 102. So this is what it is printing. So this is how we can get the element based on the key. Okay, now let's see how we can get the all the key available inside the map, or how we can get all the value inside the map. And another one is like how we can get all the key and value. So there are three requirements, right? So map has provided important three methods. That's what we have seen in our previous video. What are those methods? So those methods are key set, value set, and entry set. So entry set call as key and value, that is the combined pair, and key set means it is going to return all the keys available inside that. Similar to that, values is the method available inside the map interface. It is going to contain all the value inside this map. So let's try to use that. Let's say we want to print all the keys available inside the map, and accordingly we can print all the value. So right, so let's try to print like get all keys from the map. So how we can do that? It's very simple. What you need to do, so let's try to print it directly. Let's write some statement like keys of map. So there is a method called, we need to use object dot key set. So this is going to return all the keys available inside this map. And similar to that, let's say we want to get all the values. How we can do that? So it's very simple. There is a method called values. So instead of keys, it should be values. So this is basically going to return all the values available inside the map. And similar to that, another third important method provided by the map is like entry set. So this entry set is going to return all the entries. So one entry called this, which contain key and value. So according to our need, we can use this method, and we can get the either the all key or value or all entry set. So let's try to print that entry set also. So how we can do that? So it's like entry set of map. There is a method called entry set. Yes. So this is going to return set as a key and value. It means that all the unique records. Basically it is going to determine based on the key only, and we know that map can contain only unique key. So that's why it is written like set of entry. So entry contains key and value. So let's try to use this method, and let's try to run this program and see the output first. Yeah, so if you can see here, we have printed like all keys of maps, right? So what are the keys available here? Null and A, B, C, D. That's what it is printing. And similar to that, what are the values available? So value is like 101 corresponding to the null key, 101, 102, 103, 104. And entry set. So entry set means it is going to return pair of all the keys and values. So one pair, another pair, another pair, another pair, and this is the last pair. So these are three important methods available inside the map, and according to that we can get all the keys, all the value, and all the entry set. Okay, and this is very useful if you want to iterate the map and perform some operation. Say you have the requirement to get only the key, so this method we can use it. You want to get the only value, or you want to get the entry set, so according to that we can use it. Okay, now let's see how we can perform the remove element from hash map. So similar to the get map, there is a method called remove method. Using that we will be able to remove the element. So let's try to remove that. So we need to use map So map dot remove. So here if you see, there are two overloaded methods. First method is like expecting only key, and another expected method is like what it is saying, key along with that value. So let's say we want to remove the based on the key. How you can do that? Let's try to remove the null. Okay, so it is going to remove the null element, which is this one we have inserted. Okay, now let's try to print it, this map again. So how we can print it? So it's very simple. Let's try to print using the simple sysort statement, and let's try to add some statement here. Map after removal. Okay, now let's run this program and see the output. So you see that null, whatever the null one was there, it got removed. So basically this is removing all whole pair, because map can contain key and value. So we are trying to remove the value, so we need to remove based on the keys only. So what are the null key we have inserted here, which is here we are printing it, that was removed, and after that we have printed like, so this value is got removed. This is the one way of removing the element. Another way of removing the element is like we can provide the specific key and value, because we know that key can be unique but value can be duplicate, right? So let's say we have a requirement to remove based on the key and value. How we can do that? So very simple. Let's try to remove that some value and key. So let's say we want to remove of D and value is 104. So this method basically is going to return true or false. Okay, so let's try to print this directly here, so we will be able to see it was removed or not. And similar to that, let's try to remove it again. So let's see what it is going to print. Okay, so let's try to see like print some statement like remove D, or let's try to print again this remove D. Okay, again, and let's see what is the output it is going to print. Yeah, so we can see here, first time when we have removed this D key, so it has removed successfully and it is written like true. Next time again we want to remove that, since it was already removed, so it is showing like false. So this method is useful if you want to perform the remove operation, and also you want to confirm it, either the element has been successfully removed or not, based on the output of the value. Okay, now let's see next operation. So next operation, like we want to get the size of the map. So it's very simple, very straightforward method available inside the map interface also is like size method. Let's try to print like some statement like size of map, and let's try to use like method name. So method name is nothing but size only. So if you print this one, and if you run this program, it is going to return number of the entry set available inside the map. So how many entry set is available? So right now it is 3, because one we have already removed here and another one we have removed here. So initially it was 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, right? So we have removed 2, now it is printing like number of map is 2. So basically it is going to determine number of the element, or you can say number of the entry set available inside the map. Okay. Next operation that we want to perform is like iterate or loop through a map. So we want to iterate it. Right now we have seen, if you want to print it, we can use simple statement. If you want to print a specific thing like keys only or values only or entry set only, so these are the 3 methods. We can call it and print it. Now let's see how we can iterate it. So there are multiple ways we can iterate it, but up to the Java 7, most efficient way is like use the for each method. So how we can use the for each method? So similar to the any other collection, we need to provide here collection object like map in this case, and colon, and here we need to provide what this map is going to return. So first of all, this map is an object, and to iterate it based on something, map has provided these 3 important methods. Okay, so if you want to iterate any map, we need to use either of this method. So let's say we can use like entry set for now. Okay, so entry set. So this entry set, what it is going to return? It is going to return list of the entry set available inside this map, right? That's what we have seen, and that's what we have printed here. Entry set means it was returning list of. So if you say square bracket here and list of elements, so this element is contains entry set, means it is containing key and value. So similar to that, we need to use entry set method here. So this method is going to return all the entry set, and each entry set is going to be a entry set type, right? So we know that for each means we need to provide the output type, means what are the element or what are the type of the element it is going to return each type. So we know that this is the entry set, so it is going to return as an entry set. So if you want to check it, you need to go inside that method and see return type is like set of entry set. Okay, so now let's try to demonstrate it in a simple format what we can do it. So we know that entry set is the internal interface, right? Internal implementation class or interface inside the map. So if you want to use that, we need to use the map dot entry. So this is the syntax of using the map of entry, and here we need to provide the key and value. So this key and value should be similar to the one that we have provided here earlier while creating the hash map. So this is the entry that is going to be written every time, right? So same thing we need to provide it here. Basically it should be capital E, and here it should be key and value. Okay, and here we need to provide some object name. So let's say we are going to provide like E, or you can say entry, and that's it. So this is what it is going to return list of the entry, and as per the for each implementation it is going to return one by one each entry. So we need to provide the output type of this is like entry type. So this is the syntax for entry type, and this entry type is going to be some generic format because we have created this map as a generic. So same key and value we need to provide it here, and according to that, since this entry is going to contain right something like this, so we will be able to get all the key and value. So let's try to print it in a very simple format. Is like let's try to enter like key, and let's try to get the key. So there is a method called get key from the entry set. This is going to return the key inside the entry set, and let's try to append it with some space value. And here similar to the get key, there is a method called get value. So something like entry dot get value. So this is going to return one by one each of the entry, and from the entry set we can get the key using the get key method and get value using the get value method. Okay, now let's try to print some statement here like iterate through for each, right? Now let's run this program and see the output. Yeah, so if you can see that what are the key that we have printed, since we have not added any colon here, that's why it is not printing. Now let's run this program and see the output in a proper format. So we can see all the key is printed here, right, and value. So this is the simplest way to iterate any of the map using the for loop method, or you can say for each method. Apart from the for each method, from the Java 8 and onward, there is a stream API, and using the stream API also we will be able to iterate it. We will be able to iterate either through the keys or through the value. So basically this for each required list of the element, right? So either from the list of the entry set or from the key set or from the values. So any of this method we can use that, and we will be able to iterate it. But if you are iterating through entry set, this is the most suitable way, because using that you will be able to get all the key and value. If you are iterating through key set or value set, then you will be able to get only the particular value or particular key, right? This is how we can iterate the map interface, or you can say hash map. Next operation that we want to perform is like Java hash map with the user defined object. So how we can store the user defined object inside the map, and how we can iterate it. So let's try to create some hash map. Before that we need to create some user types. So in our previous video or one of the example, we have created one class called consumer, right? So let's try to see if this class is available or not. Yeah, consumer. Let's try to use this class. Let's try to create multiple consumer and try to insert using the map, right? Using the hash map. So how we can do that? First we need to create the hash map. So similar to that, here we need to provide. So in case of the list collection or set collection, we are usually providing the consumer type. But here it is required two value, right? Key and value. What kinds of the key and what kinds of the value. So let's say we want to insert key as a string and value as a consumer. And then let's say map 1 equal to new hash map. So this is the way we can create the hash map with the consumer type. And here we need to decide what kinds of the key. We want to insert the key as a consumer type and value is something different, or we want to insert key as something and value as a consumer. So basically we need to decide key. So we know that key should be unique. So we need to provide some simple type data only here as a key. So let's say string type, and let's try to create multiple consumer type and then we'll try to insert it. So how we can create the consumer type object? It's very simple. Consumer, let's say C1 equal to new consumer, because here we have implemented one parameterized constructor, so which is required CID and name. Let's try to provide it here, those value. Let's say 101 and let's say learn. Similar to that, let's try to create multiple object with a different value. Three, and let's try to change the value also. 3. Learn with SKTech 9521. This is nothing but our channel name. And let's try to insert this object inside the map. So how we can do that? Using this object, we need to use the put method, right? And here we need to insert key and value. So we have defined key as a string type and value as something consumer. So let's try to insert some key like let's keep K1 as a key just for the demonstration and C1. Okay. Now map 1 dot put K2, or you can say C2 here. And similar to that, let's try to copy paste again and try to insert another value K3 and C3, and let's try to print this one again. So let's say custom type hash map. Okay, let's try to print this map object. So this is the way we can insert the custom type, or you can say user defined class inside the map, and in a using simple statement we will be able to print it, or we can use this iterator, okay, and print it. So if you can see here, key is this one K1 and value is a object type. So here it is printing in a proper format. This format is because we have overridden the toString method and we have defined the format. Basically toString method is used to define the way of printing this object. So we have defined something like this. So this is what is printing: consumer, curly braces, and then CID and then value of the CID, that is 101 in this case, and learn. Similar to that, consumer, another consumer, and this is the last consumer. Okay, so this is how we can insert the user defined object inside the hash map, and we can simply print it, or we can use the any of the iterator, and using that we will be able to print it. So let's try to use the iterator in this case also and try to print it. So let's just copy paste this one. So now we have object called map1, and here we are going to get the entry set. So now it is throwing some exception, right? Why? Because this entry set is going to return in a key as a string and value as a consumer. So that's why we need to provide here as a consumer instead of integer. Okay. Now let's try to run this program and see the output. So we will see each consumer it is going to print key and value. So he key as a K1, K2, K3, and value is this value. So this is what we have printed as a toString method. That's why it is printing. If you want to get particular CID and name again, we can map this get values and we can get that value. So something like, let's say we got like entry dot value. So value, we know this value is going to return each time the consumer type. So what we need to do, we need to simply typecast it. So how we can do that? It's very simple. We need to create the consumer type object. Let's say C equal to, and here we need to provide the typecasting. So something like this. Okay, and using this C object, we will be able to call all the methods available inside the consumer type class. So let's try to see what are the methods available. So see that there is no method. Okay, so let's try to generate some method, like using the generate method, some setter and getter. Okay, now let's go again here and let's try to print it. So this time we are going to print like consumer information, like C dot get CID, and let's try to print some statement here like space plus C dot get. What are the another method available? C name, right? So this is what it is going to do. This is going to return one type of the value. So value means consumer type, and from the consumer object we will be able to call the methods available inside the consumer. So right now there is a method called get ID or get name, right? So this is what we can print it. So it is going to print 3 times with a different value. So let's try to run this program and see the output. So yeah, you can see that this key and value that we are printing it here, and second time what we are printing, consumer, then key 101 and value as a learn. So this is the another way of we can get the particular user defined class type and print those methods. Okay, so that's all for today's video. Basically we wanted to demonstrate like what is hash map, how to create the hash map, some important key point about the hash map, and some example like basic operation. So in next upcoming video we are going to discuss about linked hash map. So linked hash map is another implementation class of this map interface. Okay, so stay tuned, we'll meet you soon. Thank you.